Okay. Well,
Welcome to our Sirimangalo International Weekly Volunteer Meeting. Just getting some technical difficulties with static worked out, but I think that's all set now. Jeff won't be here today, and Jamie won't be here today, but they'll both catch up afterwards. And I had a quick agenda that I just sent out just right before the meeting, just things to go over real quickly here. Under the 4 requisites, Tina, you had mentioned about having juice for the meditation center, and I wanted to ask Bante, is it okay to leave juice at the monastery in the refrigerator for meditators to help themselves with? We might have lost Bante there.
Sorry, say again?
Okay. Tina's putting together a kind of a welcome packet for meditators, frequently asked questions, meditator application, different kinds of things. As part of it, she had put together a daily schedule and mentioned having juice in the afternoon. And I was wondering if it's okay to supply the meditation center with juice, just have it there in the fridge for meditators to help themselves with. Is that all right?
That's great.
Okay. And in the event that they are offering this juice to you, is there some special requirement for juice for a monk? Something like it can't have pulp in it or something?
Right, can't have pulp. Should be just clear juice.
Okay, so we can order some clear juice, obviously real juice, not juice drink or fruit punch or anything like that, and send it over, and it can just be held there. Okay, would you want to take care of that, Tina?
sure. Only when there's meditator, right? Or I send it regularly.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to do it all the time, but there's some that you can get ahead of time, non-perishable. Because the problem with sending an order of fresh groceries is you have to send a minimum of the order has to be like a minimum of $50. So that would probably be a lot of juice. So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we can look into the kind of juice that can be stored on a shelf.
Okay.
But that's still real juice and doesn't have any pulp in it. So,
Okay.
All right. Okay, thanks, Tina. Regarding the monastery, Aruna, were you able to get some heaters for the monastery? You just got to unmute yourself.
Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday, night we went there, and then it was the last moment, and then we just pick up one, and then we might need to buy. I was thinking actually there was a very good one, like cost 200, I think 250 something. Yeah, like that. Or
is it needed? Is it that cold at the monastery?
Sorry?
Is it needed? Is it that cold at the monastery?
So can you repeat again?
What is a big heater like that needed? Is it cold at the monastery?
Here's the thing. What I figured out, we have the heating system. It's not good enough because the basement is, usually cool, right? So in that sense, we can have like a private heaters, or we might need actually heaters because we can. Let's say if we set up like 20 centigrade, so that's not going to be enough for the basement. It's going to be lower, right?
There's no heat in the basement? No regular heat?
There are, but it's not good enough because basement is usually it's cool, right?
Okay.
So in that sense, we might need to buy maybe another 2 heaters. Actually, I don't know what's the option. We can buy 2 or 3 small heaters, or there's a good one with humidifier, and then it's a little bit cost like 200 something, 250.
each?
The other ones, sorry?
250 each or total?
Actually, that one good enough for the whole open area, I think so. I had to check it again.
What's the cost of heating with electricity as compared to heating with gas?
I don't know, Anthony.
Sure.
Do you have a comparison for gas as compared to electricity in your area?
No, it's too early. I've only gotten 1 month of bills.
Doesn't anyone know the difference in? Don't you guys pay heating bills?
Oh, I don't pay heating bills, not at my apartment.
I mean, I think it's different by area and also construction of the home. But Aruna's saying that it's quite cold in the basement and it wouldn't be comfortable for anyone to.
Well, I noticed that one of the vents was closed in the basement, so I suggested that we go and look and see if there's 3 or 4 vents that are. One of them, the only one that I looked at, was actually boarded up. Inside there was a piece of plywood closing it off. So.
Okay, so maybe that will help part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you check into that, Aruna?
Sorry?
Can you check into that? There's a vent that was closed down in the basement.
Yeah, I noticed that, and then I see, but I think the whole thing, basement and then upstairs, I mean, is controlled by the same system, right? Same. If I set up, let's say 20, or so that's what usually we keep, and then I think 20 is, I think that's not enough for the basement.
I mean, I know there are the small heaters. They're small. They're almost like a personal heater. They cost about $30 and they don't draw much electricity. A bigger one, the kind that you're talking about, it may be a big draw on the electricity, and we don't seem to know what the cost of the electricity.
Yep. The point is that the reason it was as cold down in the basement is because all the vents are probably blocked up. Because someone didn't want to waste the energy heating the basement. So we just have to go through the house and go through the basement and check all the vents to make sure they're open. Because when I opened up just the one vent, I felt it was actually okay down there on Friday when we had the movie. Once I opened up the vent, of course I did crank up the heat to like 24, but.
So that was on Friday that you unblocked the vent?
Yeah. But only one. There's 3 or 4 of them. I didn't check the others.
So we should unblock all the vents and see how it is for a couple of days.
Yeah.
One day I checked it. There are only 2. I think you already see. There's the one in the front, and then there's another one. I think I check out, and then there are only 2.
Shehan said there were at least 3. Did you talk to him?
No. Actually, we both together checked last night. Yeah. One is from the roof, and then other one, I think that's the one you were out.
Yeah, maybe you guys can check it out this week and just let us know next week. If you need heaters, I'm sure the society would definitely, be willing to pay for them, but just check out the other thing first and see if maybe it was just a matter of the heat vents being blocked off and all that. Just let us know next week, okay? All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Regarding the next item, clothing, we had a very good campaign to allow people to contribute toward offering a rope for Monday. Aruna, I'm just going to mute you. We had a robe offering for Bante online campaign, and over $1,100 was donated, which is roughly about 3 times the amount that we actually need. So I've reserved the amount that I estimate will be actually needed towards the robe, and that left about 800 USD left over, which we were able to donate to Wat Khmer Krom for their building project. They also have an online campaign, and that donation's already been made, and I'm just waiting for a little more information on when the robe will arrive. There is a small group of local meditators who are interested in going and presenting the robe to Bante, which will be very nice, and some people online who are very interested in seeing some pictures or a video or however we could virtually participate in our first online katina, which would be really nice. So when I get a little more information on when the robe will be sent, we can plan a little better on that. Bhante, are there any needs for yourself at the monastery this week?
None that I can think of offhand.
Okay. All right. Regarding the meditation center, we've been working on updating the meditator application, the waiver, the center rules, and Tina's putting together a frequently asked questions. And
Robin did most of the most part.
well, you got it started. That's the hard part. So we would need. Well, actually, I think Bhante, you did look at those. You, other than the revisions you made, everything else seemed to be all right.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay. All right. Good. The meditator application, we ran into a little bit of a problem with that. We wanted to collect information on people's mental health history.
Yeah, I read all about that. I'm not quite sure why it's such a big deal. Like, are people really that afraid that that information gets out there? I mean, not that they want it publicized, but like, are we really concerned about hackers and that kind of thing?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a state secret or anything.
No, our IT team is very focused on that. They take that area very seriously and just don't want us to get into the habit of doing something that could potentially get us in trouble down the line. So there was an alternate idea to remove that information from the application and perhaps have you do a verbal interview with people either through Google Hangouts. So that,
I mean, it just strikes me as over the top. I'm not really sure why we're so concerned that we have to remove it from the application form.
Because storing such an information wouldn't be a good practice for our website.
Well, we're not storing it on the website. We're sending it via email. So it's going to somebody's email address. But I mean, I mean, I talk to people all the time on email about their mental problems. It's not really like a hush-hush secret. I mean, I've got emails full of people's mental problems. So if it's a matter of not wanting this stuff in emails, I think the cat's out of the bag.
It's already happening, eh?
Well, it happens all the time, yeah. I mean, that's the sort of emails that I get. People write me long emails telling me their life history. So
I think the difference, though, Bhante, is that an email would be generated from a person who was willing to, give you that information up front. But if we require that on an application as a condition for coming to a meditation course, it would be blocking people who didn't want to have that information digitally recorded. So,
you really think such people exist?
We're just trying to cover all the bases. Just trying to make it so that the things we put in place now are, they are solid and not shaky practices.
Okay, but should we? I mean, does it not make sense to follow standard practices like what other people do? Do other people avoid putting that on their application forms? I'm highly surprised that this isn't even an issue, because it seems to me a standard practice.
Yeah, I have seen similar things on other meditation center applications, and I'm not sure what the difference is. It could be that our volunteers are a little more in tune with that. That seems to be their specialty. So maybe they are just a little more cutting edge on that and are trying to prevent problems for us down the road. But the
Maybe they're paranoid.
Well, I think looking out for us, trying to prevent problems on our website.
But it could be just creating problems.
The other option was they were talking about some free encryption software that would probably make this a moot point, because then people could send it and it would be encrypted.
Yeah, I mean, if the committee really thinks this is an issue, but
well,
I'm not really on board with it, because I don't. I mean, you can convince me, but it doesn't seem to be. I'm not going to veto it or anything, but my personal opinion is this is a little bit over the top and just going to make things more complicated. Because encrypted emails, I don't quite know how they work, but I don't think they're straightforward.
Well, generally, you just have to have decryption software on your PC, so that when you receive it, it is decrypted for you.
But by the sounds of things, you really think this is an issue?
Personally, I don't, but I don't know anything about it. We do have someone who's more of an expert in the field who's recommending that we not put ourselves in.
Well, okay, but if you don't think it's an issue and I don't think it's an issue, that's two people already that don't think it's an issue. I don't know. I mean, I'm not neither you or I are naive about these sorts of things. I don't think. I mean, I'm not. I don't know. I don't assume you are, but so I think our opinions count. I don't think Doug has. Is Doug? Is it? I mean, I appreciate that he works for an IT company and they're concerned about these things, but in the realm of corporatism or whatever you call it, it's they have to worry about those things. I don't know that we do.
Okay. I think just overall he's looking out for our well-being, very good intentions.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm not criticizing his intentions. I'm just saying. Maybe I am kind of criticizing them, but.
If it's too much, perhaps you could just jump into the IT forum at Slack
Sure.
and just let him know so that he doesn't continue efforts that may not be welcome.
No, I mean I'm glad that he brings it up. It's something to be discussed. I'm just offering the opinion that my answer is nah.
Okay. Alrighty. Next for the meditation center. We had a suggestion to pay for some advertising to get the word out about the meditation center. I'm against paying for it because there are methods of free advertising to communicate to people what opportunities are available at the meditation.
No, we're not a money-making operation that has to advertise. We're not looking for students.
No, I'm not saying to advertise to make money, but to
but my point being, that's the kind of thing, a money-making operation. That kind of makes it think, well, why do they want students? Are they trying to make money or this or that? I don't mean, I understood what you're saying, but it's the kind of thing a money-making. It's the difference between us. We're not looking for students. We don't need students. If no one comes to meditate, we just don't want to be faulted for not having put the information out there. Well, why didn't you guys, you don't even have a website? What's up with you? That kind of thing.
Well, I'm assuming that the Day of Mindfulness is something that you'd like to offer to the community, and if we're going to offer it, let's offer it wholeheartedly so that people understand that the opportunity exists. If we only offer it in very, very limited venues, the people just won't know that it's there. And
no, we offer it in whatever venues are available, but I'm pretty sure that we can agree that paying for advertising is over the top. It's crossing a line. It's not.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we just don't have the funds to pay for advertising. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, even if we did, it's not. Well, you could potentially, but it seems to be the wrong intention. It's the kind of thing.
Yeah, you have my
smacks
agreement. We don't need to pay for advertising.
I agree.
Smacks of commercial. Even if we did need to, it would be the kind of thing that we would want to say, nah, not really ethically sound or not proper. My mom.
But there are free alternatives, and most local newspapers have some sort of a free reader submitted items, and Jeff was also mentioning radio ads in your area that he thought might also be free. So this would be something better for a local person. So I don't know if possibly someone watching who's local would be interested in taking this on to contact a local newspaper, local radio station to see if they would have free spots.
I don't know. I'm not really. Don't know how far we want to go with that.
Yeah,
like if there are boards where, like directories, if there are directories that everyone is on, then well, we should be on those directories. But as far as going on the radio, like asking to go on the radio, it's kind of like begging, You don't really beg.
No, I agree. Okay, so radio might be a bit much. How about a newspaper? These are very simple reader-submitted briefs. People do these at our newspaper all the time. There's a half a page full of, different events that are being held.
Yeah, like an event list. That seems like it's proper that we're on the events list or on the community, community events or whatever they're called.
Okay.
That seems proper to me.
Okay, good. And directories. Does anyone happen to know offhand where to find these directories? Do you mean like?
Well, there's the Hamilton Spectator is the city paper. And then there's the silhouette on McMaster, on the campus at McMaster University. So there's 2 newspapers, and then there's the radio at McMaster that I don't know how many people listen to, but they probably all have community events listings.
Great. That gives me something to go by. We'll try to find someone local who can look into it a little further. If not, I probably can, because don't really have to be there in person. Also, in communicating the Saturday Day of Mindfulness, Samantha has been added as an admin for the meetup site. Jeff had forgotten to list the event this week. Samantha's going to take over on that, and she'll create an event every week and maybe adapt the page a little bit, make it a little different as she sees fit. So if anybody has anything they'd like to add to Meetup, just communicate that to Samantha. Then on our IT team, using Slack, as far as I can see, it seems to be working really well. What does everyone else think of it as opposed to the flurry of emails going back and forth?
I like it.
It's much better.
A lot
than
easier than my
anything else.
inbox.
So it's a thumbs up all around?
I may yet get caught up on my emails now.
I know. It's nice to go away for an hour and not to come back to 20 of them. And it certainly was never all the volunteer stuff, but the volunteer stuff just added a lot to a lot of other stuff that was already there. So it's nice not to have that. I really like Slack. And in fact, I'm trying to convince my boss to work on it, to use it for some projects we're working on at work. So I'm really happy to know about that. So if anybody's listening and they haven't started using Slack, and you're noticing there haven't been many volunteer newsletters, it's because we've moved to slack.com. Just anywhere, put a comment that you'd like to be added to it if you're not sure how to get an invite to it. Anthony, can people just sign up directly, or do they need an invite?
No, they need an invite. I know that I can send invites. I don't know who else can.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sure we all can.
No, I couldn't. I tried to invite Luke, and
Yeah.
I wasn't able to. So.
Anthony and I can add you as admin, I think.
Okay.
Anthony, are you an owner or admin? I can't remember.
Right, so I think there's one owner and as many admins as we like. So first I was the owner and admin, and then I tried to make you another owner and another admin, not understanding that there would only be one owner. But anyways, I think we're both admins.
Okay, if you can add me, or if you don't mind just having information forwarded to add people, either or.
Yeah, we can add Robin as an admin. That'll make things easier.
Yeah, I just tend to get lots of miscellaneous requests from people looking to be guided in the right direction, so that would be appreciated if possible. Let's see. We talked about the problem with meditator screening and encryption being considered, and we'll just not worry about that for the time. Anthony, are you able to summarize what was being discussed in terms of another organizational platform to organize our projects and documentation?
I don't know if we're ready to decide anything in that way yet. There was just some discussion about project management systems. You mean in the IT area, right?
Well, I was hoping that whatever you guys planned would be something that would be useful for everybody. Like, kind of with these meetings, I come with a short list of things that need to be done, projects that can be signed up for, and I mean, we're using Facebook for it now, but not everyone's on Facebook, and it gets kind of scattered. So if we really had one central place where people could sign up for projects and update, how things are going, but I guess that can be done on Slack as well. We don't need more than.
Maybe it could be done on Slack. Something I'd like to see is where there could be a to-do list. Things could be checked off, and maybe even due dates for certain items.
Sure. Status, updates on the status and things.
Yeah, I'm sure there are services we can use, and maybe Trello is the one.
Okay. So
I haven't even looked at it yet.
I'm sure between you and the IT people, maybe we'll hear a little more about that next.
One we use at work is software called Jira. I think it's free for a number of users. I can't remember when you have to start paying for it, but I think even paying is something like $20. It's relatively cheap, I think. It might be worth looking at.
Okay,
It's
that was one of
mainly
the ones discussed in the IT forum.
What was the name of it again?
Jira, Jira.
Oh, Jira. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll hear more about that next week. But in the meantime, anyone who's willing to migrate over to Slack, that really is coming in handy.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to be a part of discussions, that's where it's happening.
Yeah, I should post that on Facebook as well because we really haven't been using the Facebook page as much either, and definitely should let those folks know as well. From the admin team, we met for about 2 hours yesterday, and Bante, when you were asking early on if your presence was missed, from myself, I would say yes. We sit there and we talk about things, and then we realize that we really can't make this decision without the consensus of 3 directors. There only are 3 directors, so it's not anything that's going to be permanent. But if we can have the assistance of yourself and Manvina at this time to kind of get things put in place, it's going to help because it feels like we're just kind of going in circles and discussing things and we don't have the authorization to do.
Did you invite Manvina to this meeting?
I've invited Manvina I'm communicating with her through Slack, and I haven't seen any response. I don't know how best to communicate with her.
If she's not responding, we may have to talk about whether she's committed to being a director.
Yeah, it may be that she's not familiar with Slack. I mean, she's been added to it, but maybe there's a better way to communicate with her. I don't have her on any of my other contacts, so although I'm sure I could probably get her email.
I can give her a phone call.
That would be great, just to see if it's just a mistake and that she wasn't aware that we were trying to talk to her through Slack, or whether this just isn't something that's going to work for her. It'd be good to know. But yeah, if we just had a little more support right now to get things off the ground. I posted the meetings, the minutes for the 2-hour meeting on Slack, and I'm not sure if we need to put them anywhere else, if there's general interest in it. It's a lot of nuts and bolts stuff about trying to comply with a lot of government regulations regarding nonprofits. We're in the middle of a status of we're not technically a federal registered charity yet. We're still a nonprofit, but Jeff is feeling that it would be good for us to model ourselves as if we were, just so that when we become a federal registered charity, there'll be less to change at that time. But it's kind of a tough committee. It's not the fun stuff, not by any means. But I think if we can get it over with, there's more details on what we're talking about in the minutes on Slack. But if we can get kind of things put in place, we need to update bylaws. We need to determine if another officer in another director is needed. We are required to have an annual meeting, which we're planning for January, and a report needs to be put together on the status of the organization. A few different things. There's not much that's of general interest, but it's all in the minutes. So the main thing now will be just trying to find a time that we're all able to meet for this, just to kind of get this stuff off the ground and move on it. And I was wondering if we would be able to move everything forward a little bit and have our admin meeting at noon, our volunteer meeting at 1, and our study group at 2.
I can move the Audrey's piano practicing time to the afternoon, so I can join the 11 o'clock, and I'll be also to join the 10 o'clock my time. It's 1 o'clock your time. The volunteer meeting. Yeah.
Would you still be able to go to the study group, Tina? Does that make it too late on your end?
Yeah, that time I usually need to practice piano with my daughter, and I can move that to the afternoon.
Okay, so as far as you know, that having having meetings at 12, 1 and 2 would be okay? I mean, it wouldn't disrupt your schedule at all, because I don't want to knock you out of the study group. You've been there since the beginning.
So I'll be able to join the volunteer meeting and with Sirimangalo.
Okay, good. How about you, Bante? Is that okay for you? Does that give you time to have lunch?
Sorry, what is the idea?
12 o'clock admin meeting, 1 o'clock volunteer meeting, 2 o'clock Visuddhimagga study.
I see. Sure.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Everyone else here, would that be all right for you? That would move this meeting to 1 o'clock.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
You already have my go-ahead.
Okay, good. And we changed the clocks next week too, so that affects it a little bit too, if anybody's on UTC time. Not sure.
So does that makes it 2 hours ahead of
Yes.
the meeting currently? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
confusing for me because we've just moved the clocks back yesterday. So yeah.
Oh,
You already.
Yeah, we've just moved, so it's 2 hours ahead of. Yeah, that's fine with me still. That's good.
okay. Great.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that sounds like it'll work out, and that's really good for me. I work on Saturday, so having everything on Sunday works very well for me. And
So are we aligning the schedule with Eastern time or UTC?
Well, because of the time change, it made my head explode to try to figure it out in UTC time. So I'm just for this moment, figuring Eastern time, but Eastern Standard Time, which is what it will be a week from now.
Right, so we're going from -4 to -5 hours.
We're going from -4 to -5, yes, and we're backing up. No, we're pushing out our existing 2 meetings by 1 hour. So I Bante, I think we're getting some feedback from you there.
Yeah, whatever that is, that beeping.
There you go. Okay, and then last week we had 2 projects that people signed up for. Anna was given the translator information. She got that information yesterday. She's going to contact all the translators that still have outstanding translations. I think there were 3 that we didn't know about, so she was going to contact them and get updates on those. And Jamie is ordering name cards for Bante. The design looked really nice, so they're both communicating on Slack for updates on their project. That really is a great platform. I'm very happy with that. There was one thing I forgot to mention back regarding clothing. Bante, now with winter coming, where do you stand as far as wearing hats, gloves, boots, socks? Do you wear those things? Do you need those things?
I could use maybe a better hat. Better toque.
A better toque?
Do you know what a toque is?
No.
Welcome to Canada.
Is it one of those ones with the ear flaps that come down?
I think it just means a woolen hat. That's what it always meant to me.
Okay. Is there any special color or requirements or anything?
Well, pink probably not appropriate. Blue, something dark brown or black or gray would be fine.
That sounds.
So anything
very
between
easy.
orange and black.
Yeah.
How about gloves, scarf, heavy socks, boots?
No.
Okay.
I have heavy socks.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Okay.
I don't know about gloves. I guess I haven't worn gloves, but I can see them coming in handy. I'm not entirely sure I'd wear them.
Yeah, being out on the campus and walking around, it might be handy, I would think. The other thing is with woolen things, Jeff mentioned, I think, that his wife likes to knit or crochet or something, and sometimes people like to do that. And sometimes in meditation centers, I've seen where they'll have like, what do you call them for meditators, like a shawl. If we had anyone who was interested in knitting or crocheting or anything like that, would something like that be welcome at the monastery?
Sure, they're a lot of work, I think.
I think so too, but people who like to knit really love to do things like that, so I can just put it out there. I went to one at a lady's house. She had knitted a whole basket of booties for people. She, obviously she wanted people to take their shoes off when they came in, but she had knitted booties for everyone that came in to wear. So we'll put it out there and see.
Okay, so we just got some interest from my wife Melody over here. Do you mind repeating what knitting or crocheting is needed?
Sometimes in meditation centers, it's nice to have the like a shawl, to wear, because it gets cold as you're sitting there. So if someone was interested in knitting or crocheting a meditator shawl, or sometimes booties. I had gone to a lady's house and she had a whole basket of those little booties knitted for people to put on their feet, since obviously you don't want to wear shoes inside a monastery.
Okay.
Is a shawl like a rectangle blanket or like a triangle thing you put it on the shoulder?
Yeah, I think either one. Sometimes they're triangle or sometimes they're a square folded in half, which makes a triangle, either or.
So it's something between a shirt and a scarf?
It's like a little blanket that you put over yourself to, when you're cold. Like a little, I think they're called a shawl, yeah.
Okay, she says she'll do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
How many?
However many she wants to make.
Dark color?
Yeah, that'd be great. And then if she likes to knit hats, Bhante could use a brown, black, or gray hat.
Well, I have a knitted hat. I know they have these like I don't know. They have hats that are better for the wind. Like the problem with knitting is that it usually has holes in it, and then it's not very good for the wind.
So more of a tighter weave. I know what you mean.
Maybe put a layer of fleece inside.
Yeah, they have those. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, we will get something like that taken care of. So did anybody have anything else?
I have a question about the robe color. You mentioned you order the robe in brown color. How is the color be decided? I searched the website. It says the color would be different from region to region to different community. But how do we decide the color for like every year? I don't know. The robe color.
Well, usually by what dye is available, but nowadays it's more by what the head monk says of the monastery, or by what robes you're given often. So sometimes people give darker robes, sometimes they give lighter robes. The king of Thailand decided on one color, so that's become fairly standard in Thailand. It's the one I wear.
But now you're head monk, Bhante, so you can decide your own color. And
I ain't in Thailand anymore.
That's right. So the brown color is one that Bhante picked out. He can, it's great to make those decisions. And I can send you a copy of I can send you an exact copy of it. There was actually an image sent to me. So I can send that to you too, Tina.
Yeah, there are 5 standard colors in Thailand, and that's just made it easier for the manufacturers to sell their wares. They've got standards, so those are the 5 standard colors they use.
Yeah, I want to match the color with the other 2 sets.
Yeah, I'll dig that out of my emails and forward that to you right now, Tina.
Okay, thank you.
So that's it, Tina. Anything else?
Hi, Robin. Can you hear me?
Yes, Aruna. What's up?
I think but we were talking about the partition, not a partition, like having a curtain or something folding to split the area,
Oh, yeah.
especially downstairs.
Yeah, so like a curtain or a partition or something for those little. It's almost like a room, but it's missing one wall.
Yeah, like um, if you remember, like close to the washer and dryer, there we can have one room, and then the other end we can have another room, like maybe two person.
So do
So
you
I
think? What are you thinking to put up there? Something simple like a tension rod that holds up a curtain, or something more
yeah,
powerful?
I was thinking that kind of, because in case if you're going to moving out or whatever, then we don't have that much, folding stuff. Because if you buy a folding thing, then it's going to be heavy, and then I mean, kind of lot of work, and then it's going to be expensive too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
So what are you thinking to put up there? Like just like a curtain?
yeah, that's what kind of thing. The kind of uh, curtain. Yeah.
I wonder if a shower curtain would be the right size. There's some really pretty shower curtains, and there are those tension curtain rods that you just put between two walls, and
Mm.
so you don't really have to deal too much with hardware at all. You just put up the tension rod and have
Uh,
a
yeah,
curtain.
something like that kind of option. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I can look at, actually I can do a survey or kind of thing, and then I will come up with a plan, and then with the cost. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, thank you. That would be good. Yeah, if you can measure it and let us know for next week, we'll
Measure,
know.
and then I will check what kind of material, what kind of option there, and then cost and so on.
That
I'll
sounds good.
try by next week somehow.
Thank you. That would be good. Thanks, Aruna. Let us know for next week what you think is best.
Yeah.
So, oh, and Tina, in the image that I sent, it's the very middle one. So, anything else for today? And you're all muted, by the way, for some reason. I'm not sure why that is.
Well, I'm
Okay.
just trying to keep the audio clean.
Oh, okay.
So, so there are 5 colors. The very middle one. Okay.
The very middle one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that one at the end, that's like one is like a really fluorescent orange.
Yeah, shiny.
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, that sounds good. So I'll put a summary of the notes in Slack and put some stuff in Facebook and our email to try to just drive more people there. It doesn't look like there are that many participating in Slack. There are like a dozen people, but the ones that are there are using it quite a bit, and it seems really
Yeah.
helpful. So I'm trying to drive more people there. All right, thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.